for Kevin Windham. So I'm anxious to see if he's able to get back in there and give Ricky a little bit of pressure.
30 board is sideways, and we are racing in Binghamton, New York. Moto number 1 in the 250 class. Number 14, Kevin Windham emerges from the pack in the front. He'll get the whole shot with Ricky Carmichael right off his backside.
And they went through that corner like it was the last lap. Ricky around the outside, so aggressive, already pitching the bike sideways to stay low. Any little advantage to attack Kevin right away and let him know that, hey, last week, get used to it. Everyone's going to get beat from now on. I think he was irritated with those 4 moto losses, and he's coming right back and challenging Kevin.
Here comes Carmichael to the inside. He takes over the lead from Windham. Windham slides into second place with the 2 Hondas, going 1 and 2 with Carmichael, your leader. Kevin Windham in second place, and this is shaping up to be a great battle. The folks here at Broome Tioga are certainly going to get their money's worth.
Now, the big part, I think, for Ricky is just, besides wanting to reestablish himself as the leader of this pack, and those 4 motos, that was a fluke. Those were good tracks for you, but the rest of these tracks, buddy, I'm going to beat you. The other reason is that you want to stay out of those rocks. I noticed that Kevin's line is just a few feet off to one side or the other, so he doesn't get beat up with rocks the whole time.
Windham trying to stay out of the roost of Ricky Carmichael. What I like about this, though, is Windham is not losing him. Look at this. Windham goes to the inside, a perfect line, gets on the throttle. Here he comes out of it. Carmichael back in his position, but this is going to be a great race. Kevin Windham is not being dropped by Carmichael.
Ricky protecting that inside. So hard to get stopped for that corner, and again you see that Kevin just crossing over the line, back and forth of Carmichael. If you get behind and get hit by one of those rocks, I broke a finger there and had my lens pop out of my goggles from getting hit in the face. And I love this new section, big air time, a lot of speed. That does remind me a little bit of Millville. I talked about that the track's a lot different. The hill is about the only thing that I can see that is the same, but the soil is completely different. That deep, loamy stuff, I think good for Kevin.
Well, this is a fantastic spectators viewing venue here at Broome Tioga. As David pointed out, that long speed straightaway, big air. Carmichael and Windham both airing it out, and the 2 Hondas are having their own private battle. Kevin Windham in second, Ricky Carmichael your leader here in Moto number 1.
Kevin already starting to lose some time, and I think he's trying to figure out, let's see, let me try to keep an eye on Ricky, see what's going on, get a feel for the pace. Stay out of the rocks.
Here's the pass, David.
He's a little sloppy at the moment, losing time. Ricky just muscling his way in there, going, yeah, whatever. You think you're going to come back and rebound after a bad week, and I'm here to tell you that it's just going to be a little harder than you thought.
Carmichael leads Windham into the foliage here at Broome Tioga Sports Complex. We have got a great race, and give Kevin Windham credit, David. He is not losing sight of Ricky Carmichael, something that most of the crowd is unable to do.
Well, this is the lap, or the section rather, where he got so close to Ricky before, different lines. About the same as he was the lap before. Ricky protecting it inside still. Kevin's got to do something pretty amazing to put a pass on him here.
This time Windham hard to the outside, crosses over Carmichael's line. Does he have the drive coming up the hill? Unbelievable. Carmichael staying on the inside, holds him off. But Windham is right there. Kevin Windham, he is on the 4-stroke. Carmichael on the 2-stroke. Both of them right in Hondas as they make their way down to the speed zone.
They dropped out of sight there. It looked like Kevin was flying a little too far to the right. But you know what I like to see here is that Ricky went out and just decided, okay, I'm going to get this lead. Looked like anyway, he's going to get the lead and just try to pull away and break the spirit of Kevin. But they've dropped 3rd place. The crowd is into it. Kevin is putting the pressure right back on Ricky. So he needed that first lap to get sorted out, figure out some lines he was going to use to be able to stay within contact of Ricky without getting roosted. It seems to be working right now.
How appropriate that our top 2 overall in the standings are out there having their private battle here in Binghamton, New York. Round number 10. Kevin Windham, who sits 2nd overall and has 2 overall victories on the circuit this year, and Ricky Carmichael, your leader.
I see Ricky make a little mistake right there, getting into that soft berm. You don't usually see him get caught like that, a little bit off guard, but maybe he's being pushed a little bit outside of his comfort zone right now. I don't know if he'll be able to respond to this. I mean, I know he can continue to go this pace, but I think he went out as fast as he could go. I don't think he's got much more than that. If Kevin realizes that, that should do a lot for his confidence.
I think this is working on the psyche of Ricky Carmichael, who usually is able to check out and drop guys. He's unable to shake Kevin Windham.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. He's got a little sideways right there. I think he's starting to think about what he has to do to hold Kevin back instead of just going fast.
So Carmichael has to continue to listen to the loud thumping sound of that four-stroke that sits about a bike length off his back fender. And Kevin Windham, number 14 on board the Honda, is making life miserable in Binghamton for Ricky Carmichael right now. And usually it's the other way around. Look at Windham. There he goes. He gets the pass gun.
Still goes wide.
Oh, Carmichael goes down. David, just too much speed coming down that hill.
Yeah, here goes Villeman into second place. Here comes Reed, now the entire team Yamaha. A couple of the guys getting by him, so that'll really make it tough on Ricky to try to get back up and win this moto. He put himself in position to win the overall, but the way Windham was riding early there, I have to think he's gone now.
So Windham is your new leader. David Villeman inherits second, and Chad Reed goes into third. Ricky Carmichael in fourth. Let's look at it one more time.
Windham so strong through this section. Kept getting close. The first 2 laps he was close. Finally puts the pass on him. And then he's brave enough to go to the outside and just sort of tease Ricky a little bit, like, yeah, go ahead and come on in for the block pass if you want. But Ricky decided right there, I better not make contact. Got really hard onto the brake, and he fell as a result of charging in there a little bit hard, but also trying to stay off of Kevin Windham, not run into him.
Well, give Ricky credit, though. The bike stayed running, so he didn't have to kick it over. Meanwhile, Thomas has checked out. We'll have to find out what's going on with him. Your running order: Windham, Villeman, Reed, and Carmichael, the top 4, will return to Binghamton, New York after this short break. And we welcome you back to Broome Tioga Sports Complex in Binghamton, New York for round number 10 of the AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championships. Todd Harris along with the champ David Bailey and Cameron Steele. Ricky Carmichael making his move back up after the pass by Windham and then the fall. Right now it is Chad Reed who sits just in front of Carmichael.
Ricky just looking desperate right now. He's all over the racetrack trying to stay out of the roost. Reed is now on a much bigger bike, throwing a bigger roost. Flat landing that jump down there by the mechanics, but it put him in position to make this pass. Just unbelievable aggressiveness from Ricky right now, who probably is feeling like, you know, if I can get back to the pace that I was running and maybe even a little bit more intensity on top of it, which is the wake-up call he has, maybe you can still catch Windham. And he didn't lose a position to Ferry, although Ferry took a look down the inside on the downhill. Ricky getting in there as fast as he could go, locking it up, and then to get by Chad Reed. Went around the inside of the corner down there just after the finish line, and didn't look like a very good line, but it put him in position to get around the outside. Now he's closing on Villeman, who's having a decent moto so far.
David Villeman, number 12 on the Team Yamaha ride, currently sits in second place behind Kevin Windham. Ricky Carmichael now moving up to third, and he is just getting completely roosted.
That hurts. They've done so much with this place, though. Since I used to race here, this downhill was all dry and rocks the size of baseballs everywhere. Now look at the signage and what they've done with the soil on the racetrack, the crowd. They've trimmed all the trees up. The place is spectacular. And you know what? It wasn't too long ago a tornado came through here and ripped it to shreds. Tore the ticket booth and flew off into the woods. They had to do a lot of work to get this place back running straight. And same for the last round of the series at Troy. They had a lot of work there. Mother Nature really taking its toll on those venues this year.
Speaking of tornadoes, Ricky Carmichael is whipping one up right now on the Cobra, and he goes right past Villeman. So Carmichael gets back into second place. Now the mission at hand is tracking down your leader, Kevin Windham. Windham already with 2 overalls on the day, and Carmichael looking good in second place. Villeman will try to stay with him.
Villeman getting a little lesson there and had to triple down that hill. You see Kevin coming back the other way. So he's not that far ahead, but Villeman just a little glance to his left, sees that Ricky is right there, takes him a little bit out of his concentration, and landed, gotten sideways in those ruts. Is all Ricky needed, but I don't think he needed that much help right there. He was on the inside, and it's pretty obvious to me he was going to force his way into second place. Tripled down that downhill. Haven't seen anybody do that yet other than Villeman out front. Reed's taking a couple of looks at it, but that's where Ricky's separated himself from the pack in the past few years, tripling down that downhill, and he's right back to it now.
So Yamaha right now runs 3, 4, and 5 with Villeman, Reed, and Ferry now getting to the fray. Ferry and Reed, as David pointed out, both riding the big 4-stroke. And here comes number 11 on the Kawasaki. That's Ezra Lusk.
Looks like Ezra's riding hard, but and it's tough this year. You've got to ride a lot more than just hard. You've got to have incredible intensity, great starts. It's got to be consistent, or you just don't get a look at the front anymore. The podium It's as hard to finish on the podium anymore as it is to get a win, it seems like. And not quite the outdoor season that Ezra had last year, but still showing signs of speed.
Behind him is number 21 on board the